to jail instead of they should definitely go to jail, except double if he had said definitely go to jail, he would be overcompensating for being guilty.
In prison, I honestly don't know what's the difference between jail and prison.
Although Christopher's response sounds okay at first glance, it's a red flag that he qualified his answer with the word probably. Most truthful individual.
Dude, it's like
You found your new gig.
No, I know. I watched too many of these videos. Are you kidding me? I know what they're gonna say.
Would provide a firm response in a situation like this. If the officers had doubt about his involvement before.
No, that's a lie. If he had said firmly, then he would have said overcompensating for being the murderer.
Then they definitely don't any longer.
The thing that seems to have led you to me is the car.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know.
After that, we're going to do banana peels, by the way, where this public defender is going to defend some of the worst in this community, the worst offenders.
I'm going to defend them all.
Yeah, pro bono.
And we're going to free them.
A car like that was just seen in the area, and so you're checking out that lead. It's quite possible I was in the area. I could have been driving down that road right when it happened, which kind of scares me. Because what if they'd come out of the house and needed a getaway car and killed me for my car? That kind of makes me nervous. I probably won't drive around there too much anymore.
This statement indicates that not only does he know the exact area the police are referring to, but he won't go there again.
Only a murderer would not go back to the scene of the crime, except double. Going back to the scene of the crime is an indication that you are the murderer.
This may have been a slip-up on his part, as Christopher was likely trying to convince the detectives that not only was he not involved in the crime, but he could have even potentially been the killer's next victim. However, in doing so, he seemingly confirmed that he had been in that area. In addition, asking the suspect to elaborate on their knowledge of the evidence is a common way to get...
That, by the way, is what I meant. That's the true purpose of the interrogation, to get him talking for an extended period of time so that he literally places himself in the scene of the crime with a vehicle.
Yeah,
like that's it.
Nothing good can come from talking about the cops, and I'm talking with the cops, and also like
I mean, they did. I think they might have done it though. I think
they might have.
I'm sure. Ultimately, in situations like this, like I said, it's always like DNA or fucking a camera or something that places you in that.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna
there.
Take everything you say today. I'm gonna be like, no, sorry.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, you're such a fucking lawyer, dog.
I will say DNA evidence is notoriously unreliable.
What would you say is the most reliable?
Me
saying your client is
that my
innocent?
client is innocent. Yes.
Okay.
That
good.
you could take that to the bank.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And that's my reputation.
Law overruled.
And that's also what people know when they see me. They're like, I know that guy. We can trust him.
Yeah. His clients are innocent. Okay, but like all jokes aside, would you say that video evidence and especially when paired up with like DNA, wouldn't you say that that's like?
I think it's like it all goes to the strength of the case, right? And like I've also seen cases where you would think that the video evidence would be like dispositive of exactly what happened. It isn't always. Like if something goes down at like a fast food restaurant and maybe the footage is not so, like it all goes to strength of the case. Like that's all it is. I mean, like sometimes you have tough cases, and when you have a tough case, it's more likely that that person is going to probably accept a plea, because if you the downside or the potential exposure they have going to trial and losing is, massive. So
okay,
yeah,
I gotta take this call real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
We'll keep going.
Get them talking, and a possible opening for them to make mistakes.
Well, let's say you were on that road that night.
Assuming I was, that scares me shitless.
It should.
Because not only does it make me a suspect, obviously, since you're questioning me, but that really scares me that somebody who was willing to attack, even if they were just trying to get out of the house, a woman and a little girl, of course they're going to attack me for my car. Like, I've never had my car jacked, but I've been scared of it sometimes.
Apparently, while driving around on Saturday night, Christopher and Stephen traveled all the way to Mount Vernon. Christopher states that they eventually parked in a driveway down one of the back roads for a bathroom break, but he doesn't clearly remember where they were. Unsurprisingly, the detectives find this to be more than suspicious, but rather than confront Christopher just yet, they switched gears to a new topic, the gang. Stephen had recently formed the Disciples of Destruction, looking to achieve a sense of brotherhood along with financial prosperity. He recruited none other than Christopher, Billy, and Quinn, where the essential values of the group consisted of loyalty and violence, with the only way in being the commission of crime. The recruit would invade a house and dispose of anyone who may be inside. Seeing as Christopher was having trouble at home, he wanted more than anything to be part of something where he could freely express himself. Christopher had been accusing his mother of emotional and physical abuse for quite some time, claiming that she would allegedly pin him to the floor and pop acne on his back, spank him, and require him to carry a vacuum around the house. The accusations were never confirmed, but his mother did recall a time where she had spanked the child so hard with a wooden spoon that the utensil broke. She would later admit that she regretted losing her control, but has since denied any of the other allegations, and there is no evidence of them being true. Nonetheless, during his early teenage years, Christopher began to have dark and twisted fantasies about his mother and wished that one day he would carry them out. Confessing his evil thoughts to a counselor at cadet camp, he supposedly stated his thoughts of wanting to cut his mother into pieces and listen to her scream like I screamed. The counselor, horrified at what they'd heard, immediately notified Christopher's parents. They were absolutely shocked at the confession and didn't wait long to bring Christopher in for a psychological evaluation. The psychiatrist concluded that he'd been displaying traits of antisocial personality disorder, but was too young to be formally diagnosed. Despite the blood-curdling fantasies, the teenager was not considered a threat to society, or at least that's what was decided at the time. If these dark and twisted fantasies were expressed as just Christopher's angry thoughts towards his allegedly abusive mother, it would be difficult to have him committed to a psychiatric facility. In addition, inpatient psychiatric hospitalizations are typically limited to days or weeks at most. It's rare for patients to be committed for months at a time unless they have a very severe mental illness. So, although Christopher displayed all the signs of likely being a hazard to society, it's difficult for his parents, his counselor, or his psychiatrist to do anything to stop him from someday acting on those thoughts. Sadly, in many cases, it's only when the person acts that measures are taken to prevent them from harming others again.
I mean, you know, my whole thing with this is, like, obviously it's entirely speculative on behalf of this narrator. I don't mean that, you know, Christopher, if he went and did this thing, you know, obviously it's horrible, but, like, the idea that there's no possible alternative that could have helped him before this situation developed, that, like, he needed to go to some kind of facility where he would be kept away forever, when the professionals who evaluated him determined that, like, he wasn't actually at that time, you know, in extreme danger to himself or other people. And it was later that something ended up happening. Also, you missed something kind of crazy.
What?
Which was his mom was, like, Dr. Pimple poppering him, like, was, like, holding him down and popping his pimples.
Okay.
Christopher? No, you missed it.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Like,
It was like abuse that he.
Wait, that's the abusive
Well,
behavior?
I mean, there were other abuses, but that was kind of the one that stood out to me because it was, you know, kind of gross.
Oh, okay. I thought that was, like, legitimately the argument that they were making.
No.
Like, the mom was doing Dr. Pimple Popper shit, which made him
no, but it was
a serial killer.
I mean, it kind of was what he was saying, but yeah.
No, there was other forms of abuse?
There were other forms of abuse, yes.
Okay. Seems like that is relevant in this circumstance.
And they were
Angry and
they were in a, you know, a criminal enterprise, the four of them, to commit crime.
Wait, the Crips?
I guess. Well, I don't know if it was the Crips,
No,
but the four
I'm
of them.
just joking.
frustrated, it seems to be of excellent timing when he and Stephen had reconnected in 2009.
You should have originally said you're not an abolitionist because these videos would cease to exist and you love them. Okay, I don't love these videos. I do love some of them, though. That's true. Some of them are pretty great, especially ones where, like, cops are really fucking bad. Like, we have a lot of memes about the JCS ones. JCS ones are pretty solid.
What would you do if Steve put you in a position, a pretty hairy predicament, Would you stop
I
him?
kind of want to make you watch the Legend of Jeff video.
What is that?
It's like a legendary interrogation video. It's probably the most famous one. Not even the "Can you do this, Steven" one, but that one is like the best one. Let me see. Where is it? Steven is a classic. Are you trying to leave?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that you're not
I
like
just have a lot of text.
being held.
I'm being detained.
You're being detained. This is the Legend of Jeff. We'll keep going with this.
Would
I want
you
to
follow him
I would stop him.
and deal with the consequences later.
I would definitely stop him. Because I don't put up with stuff from anyone to a certain degree. If he's going to smoke cigarettes and he's almost 18, I don't care.
We're not talking smoking cigarettes.
So yeah.
We're not talking drinking beer if you're underage.
No, I'm just using
I'm
that
talking
as an example.
serious stuff.
I don't think you really get the big picture. You are here for a reason, okay?
Now they're starting to get
You want to
stern.
know what the other guys are talking about? They're not talking about cigarettes.
I love the
So you better
Boston, like
Yeah,
the
they can
Massachusetts.
lie. They can legally lie to you, right? In interrogation.
I mean, they lie. They lie.
But it's like allowed by the courts.
Yeah, I mean, they can be dishonest with you, and they frequently are dishonest with people. But again, this just all goes to the fact that you shouldn't be talking to them.
Not a law tip. Well, not legal advice.
Not legal advice ever from me.
Only I'm giving legal advice. When I say anything, remember it's definitely legal advice.
That's right. It's the legal
Okay?
practice of law.
It's financial advice and it's legal advice simultaneously. It's both. It could be anything, but it's always the case. It's a matter of law.
start
Oh, medical advice too. Yes, that is well.
thinking really hard and pull your head out of your behind and start telling us what happened on Saturday night, because it's not looking very good.
I'm sorry. The fucking the New England accent
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so unserious.
It's really bad.
Like when if someone was telling me anything seriously in that accent, I'd start laughing. Like there's no way I could take that seriously. It's like even an Italian accent has like a level of seriousness to it that this one doesn't. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
also really
get your
strange.
fucking head out of your ass, dude. Like, no, I can't.
I used to prank call QVC, like the Home Shopping Network.
You're going to jail for that.
Maybe.
It's criminal.
When I was in college and I would use a Boston accent, I'd pretend to be like a dad who just got home from work and his kids had called QVC and ordered a bunch of like things they weren't supposed to order.
That's you wasted the time of the QVC people. That's illegal.
I think it's great. I was preventing the overconsumption by other people by twisting up the lines.
Wow, look at you, disbarred. How about that?
Good for you. People are talking
Isn't
about
that a felony?
something
No.
different than what you are
I don't
telling
think
us.
so.
This was Saturday night. This wasn't 3 months ago Saturday night. This was Saturday night. It is Monday right now. There should be no question in your mind what you did. You just told us you don't use drugs. You don't drink.
No.
You have no reason to have this memory loss.
I just don't put anything into long-term memory unless it's important.
Let's take a deep breath and think long and
That's
hard.
good.
King.
That's
about
good. That's a good
what
response.
happened Saturday night.
This is the prisoner's dilemma at play again, this time with Christopher being on the receiving end of it. He likely believes that his selective memory is a safe bet right now, as it leaves the door open for him to suddenly remember something later and adjust his story. However, what he doesn't seem to realize is that having a memory of extremes like this is highly suspicious. With this in mind, the detectives are hoping to back Christopher into a corner.
I knew it.
But
I
the
knew it.
teenager
Dude, everything is
refuses
highly
to budge,
suspicious, dude.
although this won't last for long.
Well, I can't tell you anything but what I think I did.
What you think you did? Don't tell me what you think you did. Tell me what you did, okay? Be a man and tell me what you did.
We got in the car and left.
This is the be a man technique. It's very effective. The police is harping on the patriarchal, the toxic masculinity of Chris Gribble to get some kind of confession out of them. Chris Gribble will say, "Oh, that's what being a man is like? Well, I am a man, so I will tell you now."
I mean, that's we don't do anything on Saturday nights. We just drive around.
The issue comes down to what was your role in what happened Saturday night?
Do you really think we did that?
I think you know who did something.
It's very suspicious that he answered with a question. An innocent person.
Guilty person asking questions.
Yeah.
I think you know what went on there. I think you have knowledge about what went on there that can help us with our investigation.
Christopher's question stands out as a possible indication of deception. Someone who's being truthful is
You
more
like
likely
that?
to adamantly...
You like that? I'm nailing it every time.
It's just every word that comes out of his mouth. He's like, this is a sign of his guilt.
Dog, this is like probably maximum 25
This is-
minutes of
yeah,
interrogation. They have to they ran it out for an hour and 30.
deny any involvement in a firm tone of voice. But Christopher's is weak, and his question is clearly lacking
Soy.
any actual denial. The detective is also using an alternative explanation that minimizes the suspect's role in the crime by asserting that Christopher has knowledge of it, but without accusing him of taking part in the act itself.
You guys really think that we did it, don't you?
You tell anyone you did it?
No?
No. You didn't
I got him.
That's like the I shot the clerk thing in like My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
What?
I've never watched it. My
It's
brother
so
was watching
good.
it the other day. It looked awful. Jesus Christ, I hate this. It looked kind of boring.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That didn't have enough like CGI raccoons in it.
What? I don't watch any Marvel movies, so you're not gonna get me on this, Mr. I Love Thor, Thunder Thighs, or whatever the
I
fuck.
don't like that.
That's your favorite movie.
That's a lie.
Clearly, everyone in here knows that that's your favorite.
No, it's not.
tell anyone you did it.
Why would you
So if
tell
I
someone
told
we
you
did
someone
it?
is telling us right now that you told them that you cut that little girl's throat, that would be a lie.
Yes.
That would be a lie.
I would never hurt a girl, let alone some little girl.
That's
That would
suspicious.
be horrible.
Stop.
Because he said he wouldn't hurt a girl, but not a grown woman. What do you
That's you think that's what he's gonna
think? I
say?
think that's what he's gonna say.
Okay, I like this. I don't think that's what he's gonna say.
Fuck.
I think he's gonna say. I think what he's gonna say is an innocent person would say would not even revel in the details of the gruesome murder. An innocent person would instead immediately, categorically deny it without getting into the accusations.
All right,
The
let's go.
the individualization of this crime indicates Chris Gribble as the murderer.
Not telling us, Chris, about why you guys went into that house. Because right now, it isn't a question if, it's a question why.
I
Stop
don't even know what
talking, Chris.
house. We were just driving
I guess they didn't
around.
cover that at all. We both fucked up.
Just me and Steve.
You and Steve, and what happened next?
We drove around. We stopped maybe and took a break to pee, and then we got back in the car and drove around more.
See, here's the thing, Chris. You feel like you're giving us just enough to explain away what you think we might know, or things that we might have. And you're thinking that that's going to be enough where later on you can say, well, I told you that. Well, I said that. Well, I can explain that. You do not know all that we know.
No,
Rest
I'm telling you
assured.
what I know.
That's so bad. I'm sorry, but like that you don't know how much we know. Like, is that a good way to try to fucking get more information on him? At least lie. You can lie to him.
I mean, it's just like vague enough.
He should just say like, "No, your fucking homies have told us everything." Isn't that what cops?
Yeah,
That's what cops do, right?
Sometimes they do say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest assured, you do not know all that we know.
During the interrogation, one of the detectives has been stepping out of the room to retrieve information from the other interviews that are taking place with Billy, Quinn, Stephen, and Autumn. And little does Christopher know, his friends weren't as willing to conceal the truth.
It's okay to tell the truth. It is okay to say what happened, to tell the truth. Because society is going to draw its own version of this whole thing. They already have. You read the paper. You read the Telegraph.
It's just a paragraph online.
Okay, if that's all you read, fine. But I bet in that one paragraph, you can sum up what the reporter's attitude about the whole thing is. There's some animal out there hacking people up, killing people in their own home in the middle of the night. That's an animal. That's a killer.
Well, yeah.
That's someone that needs to be killed themselves.
Oh, shit.
A guy like you, come on. You're not cruising yard sales on a weekend. Come
Sure
on.
I do.
No, you're not. That jewelry is going to be traced back to that house. And we're going to check the records of anything else you pawned off. Because you even said they take your name, your license number, all that information. How much of that other jewelry and those other goods that you pawned off are going to come back to other burglaries that were just that? Simple burglaries. You sneak in.
The most I've done is I was like 9 years old. I tried to take a thing of Pokemon stickers from a KD Toys.
Stop minimizing. Stop. We're not talking smoking when you're under 18. We're not talking stealing
We've all
Pokemon
done it.
stickers.
Look,
We're
we've all
talking
done it.
murder.
I don't do that.
You may not have, but someone in that house did. And you were there.
I was never in
You
any house.
were there.
Investigators again pose the alternate theory that gives the appearance of minimizing the severity of the crime.
Oh my God.
This is meant in part to keep the suspect talking and eventually willing to admit to something, and eventually the truth of their role in the crime. Nonetheless, Christopher refuses to waver on his original story, invoking that as an Eagle Scout, murder is not a core value.
Chris, let me ask you this. You ever been to the Nashua River? That mean anything to you?
I don't know which river the Nashua River is.
You don't know?
Hell yeah, Eagle Scouts.
Been to the river lately?
That mean anything to you?
No.
I don't know.
No? You haven't been by a river lately?
Unless you're driving over one or walking.
Stop minimizing. Stop dancing around the issue. John has asked you a very specific question. Have you been to a river lately? Yes or no?
Fine, yes, I've been to the river.
See how easy that
parked
was?
next to the hatch.
When was this?
I don't know.
2 nights ago?
He stole
Maybe
Pokemon
yesterday
cards.
was. Well, we went and got
Where'd you go to the
some stuff
river
at
for,
hatch
Chris?
today.
Where'd you go by the river for?
I parked.
What'd you
next to
throw
the
in the river, Chris?
Whoa.
What did you throw in the river? What was thrown in the river, Chris?
He
I
does
didn't
sound like
throw
Jerry
anything in the
Seinfeld.
river.
Well, from Boston.
What was thrown in the river? I didn't ask.
This is called the pestering technique, where a cop keeps repeating the same question over and over and over again.
And pointing his gun at his head.
Okay, that would be very effective.
If you did, what was thrown in the river?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't throw anything in the
You're
river.
lying, Chris.
I don't know.
You're lying. We have evidence.
This is called the you're lying technique. Also very effective.
You're lying.
You're
You know what
lying.
happens to people who slice little girls in prison? You know what happens to them?
Oh,
Do you
this is
know?
another.
No, I've never been to prison.
Yeah? Well, you know what? You're going to find out.
Then arrest me.
My God, what were you
Damn.
thinking?
He ate him up.
What were you
right
thinking
there.
when you were hatching away at her?
Okay, you're a little too much
Hacking
on the
away
side
at
of
her.
this guy.
Hearing her
Somebody's
scream.
got to be.
We were smiling. You were smiling, weren't
Dude,
you?
you are such a
You
fucking
wanted to
attorney.
sit-
Thank you.
You are
wanted to
such
sit
a
in what
fucking.
went in there with the sole purpose carrying that shit. Because the other guys might have thought it was just a burglary. They're just going to skim a little jewelry, go make a little cash, be done with it. But you went in there with another plan. You went in there to kill. You liked it. That rush. that
Okay, this
adrenaline
literally. Okay, this guy watched too much fucking police.
This is what I'm telling you.
No, the cop here is literally fucking this up. Like
I mean, maybe
he
he's not.
thinks he's in a fucking movie. Like he is straight up behaving like he is the lead in a cop drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you were smiling from ear to fucking ear, dude.
It's the hyper real, you know? Like these things, the copy of the copy of the copy, and
Yeah, but it's not. But this is ridiculous.
You liked it. Till the lights came on. The reality hit. You saw the damage you had done.
The detectives have shifted from placing the blame on Stephen to making Christopher the actual ringleader. They've tried playing him as the victim who simply followed along, but since that tactic didn't work, their next option is to evoke anger or guilt in hopes that he will tell the truth. It's possible that
Pokemon
the
cards.
investigators believe that he's the psychopathic mastermind, and that calling him out on it would appeal to his nature. Trying to paint him as a follower if he is the leader would, after all, be an insult to him.
If you were given that opportunity, would you offer an apology to that little girl
Oh man.
for what happened to her and her mother? Would you?
If I had done it, yes.
Most people would tell a person that was
That's insane, dude. That's like an insane. Dude, when did you stop beating your wife? Is like what they're doing here.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, when did you stop beating your fucking wife, dude?
severely injured, they were sorry it happened,
effective.
regardless of their involvement. It's part of an empathetic response. Christopher's answer lends significant credibility to the idea that he is on the psychopathic end.
See? So even when he gives the right answer, it's because he's a psychopath. So he's able to fake it.
End of antisocial personality disorder. Since
To be fair, he might be, because, the crime itself is pretty wild.
lack of empathy is a key component of psychopathy. This statement labels him something of a deviant, whether he was guilty of this particular crime or not. Following the heated confrontation, Christopher decides
What?
that he doesn't want to speak with the detectives any longer. But over an hour later, he seems to have changed his mind. Not only this, but now we're able to hear from the much talked about Billy, who has been confessing all along. The detectives begin by reading Billy his rights and quickly dives into his side of the story.
This is your chance to talk, Billy, so I'd like you to just tell us what you know about the incident. I don't much. I only know what I've heard from my teachers today in school. Okay, Billy. The information we have is that you were there.
The detective informs Billy that he's not the only suspect being interviewed at this very moment.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you know about the incident out in Mount Vernon? What I know, like, about which part? About your involvement in the incident. Yes. My involvement was, I was just there. Okay. Who were you there with? Steve's there, and Chris, I have no idea what his last name is. You don't know Chris's last name? I haven't known him for a week. Okay. And
Well, y'all got the same haircut? What the fuck is... Can someone address the haircut question? That's all I care about.
They're just
about them.
homies.
No, that makes no sense. Like, they
You and
all...
I kind of have a similar haircut, a little bit, maybe.
Okay, okay, you bring up a fair point. Like, if we were wrapped up
Let's
in a
go!
murder... If we
Let's
were wrapped up in a murder
go!
mystery... But
Get
like...
him!
Well, it's not going to happen until tomorrow. You're going to have a different haircut. It just, like, doesn't make fucking any sense whatsoever that they all have, like... They went and got the same fucking, like, very specific buzz cut.
who else were you there with? Quinn Glover. Okay.
Billy is minimizing his
Oh
involvement
yeah, they
by
were talking
using the
about. Sorry,
word
you missed that. The
just.
Disciples of Violence was apparently their gang, allegedly, that they were in.
Damn, they got the nerdiest fucking gang name, dude. They're just like, dude, see, this is what happens. You should have just, like, gotten really invested in, I don't know, D&D or something instead of whatever this is. Disciples
This is
of
likely an
Destruction.
attempt to lessen his punishment and possibly any feelings of guilt. Given how quickly he admitted to being there, it's possible that he either felt compelled to clear his guilty conscience, or he's a person who succumbs easily to pressure.
I mean, hold on, wait.
In addition, when more
Like, don't you have a group of, like, your boys and you have a name for your group of guys?
No, because we're not murderers, unlike you.
Well, like, I have a name for my friend group of guys.
What do you call?
We're called the BHB,
What's that?
the Broken Home Boys, because we're from broken homes.
Really? Are you fucking with me right now? I can't tell.
I don't know.
Oh my
You'll
god.
never know.
We call ourselves the HasanAbi heads.
The Disgusting Brothers.
Oh god. Dude, tonight a new episode of
I
Succession.
know, very exciting.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But in the meanwhile, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break that happens. Of course, you wouldn't know that if you are subscribed. We had a crew like that called the Laser Boys. We were toxic. Oh yeah, if you're called the Laser Boys with, like, capital letters in there, you know that shit is gonna be toxic. Meanwhile, the toxicity at the top of the hour ad break could be completely negated if you subscribe for $5 or for free, or get gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. For the record, a brief, just a random thing. The reason why I was away was because I was talking to the vet. The vet first said, "Oh yeah, you know, negative for Giardia and every other parasites, right? For Kaya, negative for everything is what she said at first." And I was like, "That's not possible. I saw the poop and it had like full-grown fucking worms in it." And she was like, "Oh, okay, hold on." And then she put me on hold for 15 minutes. I gave the phone to my mom. And then she, you know, once she finally got off hold, my mom gave me the phone back, talked to her, and she said, "Oh, maybe it's because the worms are like fully developed, like adult worms. That's why it couldn't pick up. It wouldn't be picked up in the toxicology report. So we need to do an injection and also simultaneously give you more, you need a new vet." That sounds weird. Well, I don't know. But I probably do need a new vet. I don't know. But adult worms in a baby dog? Yeah, no, I'm just saying like the worms are fully developed maybe. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. She's going to get an injection and also medicine on top of that to hit like every fucking, to hit all the different kinds of worms. And that's it.
Poor sweet baby.
Yeah. She's fine. Like, look at her sleeping.
She's asleep.
She's been sleeping all day because of the vaccine, I think.
She got the
COVID
vaccine?
Yeah, she's gay and autistic now. That's what I did to her with the vaccine. This BS, you need a different vet. Even if the worms were fully developed, that means there'd be eggs they could pick up. Horrible vet, 1 star on Yelp. Okay, I don't know how this works.
It's time to dox your vet.
What? Yeah, we're not. Dude, this ain't TikTok, brother.
I'm kidding.
We don't do that. I know you're used to that probably in your line of work.
Doxing?
TikTok. That's like what TikTokers do.
They dox
so
I
much.
guess you mean like, yeah, sure.
TikTokers dox so much. Oh my God, it's crazy.
More than one person is involved in a crime. A psychological phenomenon known as diffusion of responsibility occurs. This means that each person feels less responsible for the crime because the responsibility...
Oh yeah, they definitely just fucked up. That's why you were on hold forever. They were just shredding papers, torching the place. Yeah, they were closing shop and opening up a new vet down the road, actually. That's what was going on.
...is shared. If Billy is being honest and saying that he was there but didn't actively participate in the attack, he may have justified the crime to himself because others were doing something much worse.
I get a call or a text from Stevie saying that he's in the trailer park I live in. Yeah, and he wanted to meet up with me. He wouldn't tell me why or what or anything. So I'm like, you know, whatever.
Okay. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bent are you gonna get if I skip this and go to the Legend of Jeff video instead, which is much shorter? And then we can move on to ban appeals.
They're fine with it.
Okay, everyone wants to skip it. Okay, good. Holy shit. All right, let's do it. It's too long.
It's a slow.
Yeah.
God damn.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's watch this one. This is a classic. Skip.
Am I under arrest?
Is this Jeff?
For now.
This is Jeff.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? You let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. Can you read what?
Right off the bat, this guy's trying to read him his rights instead of fucking, immediately diving into it. And bad cop. He should be, he should be fucking,
I mean, yeah, we're gonna.
He should be.
Frag
Okay,
him.
Kai is about to bark. I'm letting you know. Don't get scared.
With me, just read in your head, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense?
You might need to go outside.
Do you understand your rights?
Never mind. She laid down.
Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand? Do you understand what I read you? Did you comprehend what I read you?
Killing it, Jeff.
Jeff, I'm just here to talk to you and figure out what happened and move you on out of here and release some of it. So do you understand the rights I read to you?
Give him nothing,
If you got
Jeff.
something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
Well, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
Oh!
This is Jeff.
This is where the
Jeff is a
comes from.
heroin addict and has been for the last 14 years. He is 6'5", weighs 153 pounds, and has now found himself in the unfortunate circumstance
Lightweight.
of being charged with armed robbery. This is in the state of Georgia, so if found guilty, they will render him the minimum term of 10 years without parole, up to the maximum term of life in prison. Jeff has been through the system.
Okay, just before we get into the video, it's insane that that's the, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking time.
Yup. Yeah, they should just melt him into biomatter. You know, save the state some money, and then you can use him as fuel. You know, you can use his human remains as fuel instead. That's what we're gonna be moving towards in America, I think, eventually.
Multiple times over, and he will know that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions.
Predicate.
Jeff, do you understand your rights? Yes or no? I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
I'm getting back to the cell. I don't talk to you
All right.
motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
Want a Coke?
He's back.
Yup, he extracted a Coca-Cola out of him.
Jeff has become somewhat of a cult figure in the domain of interrogation footage. His recognition seems to have grown through his own popularity, as opposed to the notoriety of his crimes, like most others. Conveying the exact reasoning behind this can be tricky, as the interest in this character will no doubt vary by the individual. Yet we've found the most collective reason can be explained through a single pop culture reference: the anti-hero. While the concept is
The
timeless,
Joker.
the actual term was created through the realm of modern cinema. There's a diverse number of characters passing through the decades that fit the criteria. Yet perhaps the most textbook example could be the protagonist from the 2003 feature Bad Santa, a middle-aged man simply known as Willie. This is a character that lies, cheats, steals, swears at children, drinks an inconceivable amount of alcohol, and is generally extremely unpleasant to every single person he comes across.
Excellent form right there.
Who's here, Jimmy?
This is so weird.
Santa.
Fucking great.
Let's tell him what you want for Christmas.
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
On paper, this is an extremely unlikable individual, yet for some reason, we root for him while following his story. Anti-heroes are flawed, as are we. Their moral complexity mirrors our own, and just like us, they are learning and growing as they move along the path of life. Their mistakes make us think of our mistakes, and perhaps the reason we root for their redemption is the reflection of ourselves rooting for our own. So you might be curious about the contrast between the anti-hero and the villain. One we embrace and relate to, while the other we despise and detach from. Both are driven by selfish motivations, yet our emotional response differs between them. The reason for this, while not necessarily obvious, is a relatively simple formula. The anti-hero must have a glimmer of humanity, alongside a noticeable vulnerability. This is what allows the viewer to truly connect with the character. It allows us to forgive them when they are unethical, but admire them when they are noble. It allows them to be angry, cowardly, and greedy, but also cheerful, brave, and empathetic.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you? Is your name Thurman?
Yeah.
Thurman Merman?
Yeah.
Hands up in chat.
Jesus.
With relation to Jeff, while many of us can't relate to the feeling of being addicted to heroin for well over a decade, we can certainly understand the feeling of sadness. While we may not be able to put ourselves directly in the shoes of an addict, we can somewhat relate to the adversity that comes with it, not to mention the incredible magnitude of the situation he is going through in this video. How he responds to this very moment is quite literally the precursor to his entire future. He is at a crossroad moment in life, where on one side is the possibility of hope, and on the other side is the outright guarantee of despair. The long-term path he goes down will be the consequences of the short-term choices he makes, all of which have to be judged and decided on while going through the early stages of heroin withdrawal.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
give me that methadone or what?
I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Cause I'm a fucking junkie, and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
So methadone is a medication. Oh my God.
This is my grandma made this here.
Oh wow. Thank
the
you.
last Diet Coke I had.
Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. What is this?
Pastırmalı börek. It's a börek. Turkish. There's cheese and a meat in it, like a type of meat.
It smells great.
Yeah.
God bless you. I was just talking about methadone and that it's a real problem.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's so good.
Hell yeah.
Pastırma is like a dried meat that's like spiced for preservation on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why getting like a little bit of a spicy taste, aftertaste.
It's so good. I love your grandma.
Yeah. My brother and his girlfriend are here too. The whole family's here.
Wait, hold on. But just the methadone thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just that it's a medication that people need when they're going through withdrawal. It's also something that people use so that they can get off of heroin. And a lot of jails and prisons provide it to people. And I don't think a lot of people know that necessarily, that it's not like it's a medication that people need. Same with Suboxone, yeah. So I don't know, just something to he's talking about, he's not getting methadone. Imagine basically not getting medication. So he's probably in tremendous pain right now. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Hasan.
No, what I was gonna say is fun fact, but not so fun. Isn't Suboxone the one that's also the one that was created by Purdue?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they created the problem with OxyContin, and then they created the solution, which is
right. And I think also even not getting too back into it, but these bad actors who do these things, the Sackler family, creating the entire opioid crisis, basically, who are never held accountable in any sincere way, stuff like that. And when I was in law school, I went to a fancy law school, and
where'd you go?
I don't want to say.
Oh, really?
Well,
it's not public.
It's I went to Columbia, but it's not a big
flex, dude. Why'd you flex like that?
You.
Wow. Wow,
So,
dude. Oh yeah,
I hate you so
just
much.
leak your fucking LSAT score too.
Yeah,
like,
okay. So anyway, when I was there,
what was your LSAT score?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't want to
Come
say.
on.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. What are you talking about? We're not talking about that.
Okay,
It's
go
not
on.
important. So I was in a legal writing class, and I was puppy. Hey, puppy.
Hayır. Çıkarır mısın? Ben çıkardım. Ciş yaptı sadece. My mom thinks she needs to poop. That's why she's barking, and she's probably right.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, I was in a legal writing class, and they had just done this big expose about the Sacklers, and I was saying how, I thought it was unethical to be a lawyer who represented, people like the Sacklers. I thought it was an ethical choice that people could make and determine who they're representing. And the professor for this writing class was the personal family attorney of the Sacklers. So you can imagine how that went. It was not great. It's pretty funny. She was very nice, Sometimes people doing bad things are interpersonally very nice. And I know it's complicated. The funny thing about doing public defense work is sometimes people are like, yeah, see, you agree everybody deserves a defense, just like I think DuPont Chemical deserves a defense when they poison a town. And it's like, I think you can make choices about the people you represent and how they represent them and the power structures you choose to support, That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we're Gucci. Let's do it. Jeff.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy. What are you trying to talk to me about here?
You're not going to eat it?
I am.
Better eat that, bro.
Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah, right? I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
talk to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How?
Man.
I don't talk to the
sitting
police.
Here, okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it works.
By the way, okay, you might disagree with this. This is not a JCS thing, but one thing I've seen in all of my years of watching interrogation videos is the more comfortable the person is in handcuffs, the more likely they've been through the fucking system. This dude will literally just like sit there in the interrogation room. Is he handcuffed right now? Yes. Yeah, he's just sitting there like it's totally normal. And as someone who has been handcuffed, let me tell you something. It is an incredibly fucking uncomfortable situation. If you're like not used to it, he's hella fucking casual about it.
Yeah.
That's how you know someone's been run through a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's sad.
Yeah.
I know you have.
You're not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
But he's like using his hands, even though he's handcuffed when speaking. Like that other guy that we watched like a while back, if you remember.
Trying to fucking get me, or
I'm not trying to get you.
All you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not going to get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I didn't do nothing.
I'm not trying to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house, because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere. And they spotlight me. They say, come here. I say, what's up? They search me. They ain't find nothing. What's up?
Let me read this.
No.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it.
Why are you reading it then?
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did. But I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you.
When he's
you
like
decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh? Okay. Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm a lawyer.
Hell yeah.
All right. This is what I don't understand. I know, but this is what I don't understand, Jeff. You were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed?
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't.
Chatter asks, isn't everything now on inadmissible because he said he wants a lawyer?
I think it becomes a fight at that point. Like it should, hypothetically be inadmissible at that point because the right to counsel is attached. But then he's obviously detained. But, it becomes something you slog it out. But yes.
They still extract information out of you and will try to.
They try.
Yeah.
Talk to you because you asked for an attorney.
How didn't I just tell you what? How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an attorney. So, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, bro.
But
saying
I
it
will
to the
tell
guy
you right
in the
now, you're
handcuffs that
still
you
on hold
handcuffed
for
me.
robbery.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing, and obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coat. Put me back in the cell.
Yeah, he didn't want to say at that time I was guilty, but I mean, this is a wonderful. Spoiler alert, there's a good ending to this, but like it's a great way to describe to chatters who don't understand how these like sorts of interrogations work that like no, they don't care that this person is fucking innocent or guilty. They just he's the guy, he's the perp, he's the suspect.
Right, he's the one they picked
so
up.
they're just trying to fucking make it stick on him. And if you have a criminal background like he does, or if you're an addict also on top of that too, it's just like it's so easy to write it. That's why all of the post hoc rationalizations and the justifications for like murders in the hands of the police or any kind of like brutality or murders in the hands of a deputized civilian like the Jordan Neely case is basically the media also doing that. They're fitting a narrative. They're basically saying like no, this person deserved it. This person deserved to have this happen to them.
What's that?
Just my phone. All right. I know we did this twice, but I got to do it again every time, okay? Before I ask you any questions, I got to read your rights. You understand that? Okay. Go ahead and sign there. I'm going to take your jacket off.
Look, I'm not signing nothing.
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. You understand your rights, though, right? Yeah. That's all I need. A verbal yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
When's his coat gonna be here? Or is that just a fairy tale?
It's coming. He's getting there right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. He has to watch the soda machine. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough evidence.
Like what?
Of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got to, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that? I mean, you haven't been helpful to me at all.
Oh yeah, you're naked. Hold on.
I don't believe that you got any evidence.
Where I was in the pool.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something.
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me out.
That doesn't mean dick. There's no way. I didn't do it. There's no way.
How drunk were you? Were you drunk?
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? Yeah. So you couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered?
Fuck, no.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place.
Fuck,
so I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out.
Hey.
Look, he's trying to extract a fucking guilty plea or like a confession out of him by subtly threatening him because like, yeah, well, you have a record already. Like, I'm going to go to your probation officer. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're a garbage person. And look, even if you're like a liberal who's like, oh, I love cops, they're supposed to do the right thing. Like, this is the wrong thing, okay? So that's why I always say, like, police, even in theory, are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. Like, the job that they're designed to do, in theory, what you see in Hollywood movies, is to, like, solve crimes, catch criminals, shit like that, right? You're not catching a criminal in this circumstance. So technically, you're allowing the actual person who did the crime, which, by the way, is, like, armed robbery, I believe, right? Is armed robbery, which is, you know, another crime of in most circumstances, a crime of necessity. Because no one who's fucking rich is going to do an armed robbery. That only happens in like movies. I was just watching Heat last night. Yeah, it's very good. So that's the whole point. Isn't Jeff a lawyer? I think he might be. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him, but I know he's like clean and he's like he has like YouTube and stuff. Like he's spoiler alert, chat. Spoiler alert. Okay, but yeah, he's good. But anyway, let's continue.
I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Well, fuck. It looks like I am if and you're going to charge me with some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a good take, too. He's also going all through this. He's also, throughout all this, starting to go through withdrawal. Imagine you're diabetic getting interrogated and saying, I need my insulin, and some pig fuck is not giving it to you. Yeah. But the way we receive people with diabetes is different than the way we look at addicts, because we look at addicts as criminals, because addiction is treated like a crime and not like an illness or a disease. So that's the reason why you can get away with fucking doing this shit.
Diabetics are fat, so they're second class too, bro.
Damn, Marat came in with a fat acceptance movement line right here. You guys missed it. I don't know if you could hear him, but because the noise gate is off, he said, "Wow, some people heard it."
It's not good.
It's diabetics are fat, so they're treated as second class citizens and as criminals.
Not really. That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
Which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying myself, man. I'm done, man. Fuck this. The only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
You're not getting out.
Oh no, I can't finish it.
Make it quick.
It's nice that they let him finish it.
I got things to do.
Butterfinger, you probably.
I said we'd see what happens.
You got to get it before, man.
All right. Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you a soda. That's good enough.
Jeff was.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the soda. I got you a soda. This he just doesn't even fucking treat him like a human being, dude.
Released from custody just under 12 hours later. And that takes us to the final and perhaps the most important component of an anti-hero, the conclusion, which unfortunately in this particular case is unknown. The final outcome of this story will vary depending on the source, some with a happy ending, others a cautionary tale. One legend has it that Jeff got clean soon after his release and now works in the corporate marketing team for Coca-Cola, while another states that he was picked up the day after for the same charge and is now facing down a 15-year sentence in Georgia State.
No. We know what the ending is. Oh, this video is older. I think there's a newer version of this. Damn, there was another guilty until proven innocent, falsely accused video that we could have watched as well. But we found out later, I think someone needs to link an article.
If we go by the Hollywood formula, an anti-hero's actions throughout the course of their life are so drastic and single-minded that they only ever lead to salvation or destruction, and their final decision is always dictated by what they have learned and how they have changed throughout the course of the story. The paradox here is that we don't even need the theme of imprisonment to mold the outcome of this particular story, as the theme of addiction is more than enough. Whether he goes to prison or not, Jeff will either manage to get clean and rebuild his life, or he won't. He is headed for salvation or destruction no matter what, and that single concept can perhaps define Jeff as an anti-hero. His outcome is a mystery, but either way it goes, it most certainly conforms to the anti-hero's ending.
All right.
Santa!
Yeah.
You're bringing my present early?
What?
No.
But I never told you what I wanted.
I said I didn't bring it, dipshit.
Okay, good. I want a stuffed elephant. A pink one.
Well, wishing one hand shit in the